Greetings to everyone. My name is Daniel Santiago Reyes, and in this short podcast, I'm going to talk about a situation that affected the department of Choco and the response of one of the most internationally renowned Colombian artists, Shakira.
The main topic will be her visit to Choco after the 7.4 magnitude earthquake that occurred on August 10, 2026, and her commitment to helping rebuild the office educational institutes. I chose this topic because it was a great surprise for everyone to see Shakira return to Colombia and announce her investment in Choco to rebuild schools after natural disasters. The difficulties faced by some communities, the importance of education, and especially the solidarity. During this podcast, I will briefly explain who Shakira is, what's happening with the earthquake, how it affected the schools, what the singer did during her visit, and what the announcement I consists of. Shakira Isabel Mevara Ripoll is a Colombian singer, songwriter, dancer, and businesswoman born in Barranquilla. Thanks to her musical career, she became one of the most internationally recognized Latin American artists. However, in addition to her music, Shakira has also developed projects related in education. In 1997, she created the Piedras Causas Foundation, an organization that works to improve educational opportunities for children and young people in Colombia. Shakira's connection to the education did not begin with the Choco earthquake. Her foundation has been working in Colombia for many years and has also had a presence in the Choco department for over 2 decades. This is important because it explains why education was one of the main means of her response to the emergency. For Shakira, helping the students means not only improving resources, but also contributing to ensuring they have adequate space to learn and continue her studies. On August 10, 2026, Colombia was struck by a powerful 7.4 magnitude earthquake, with its epicenter located in the department of Choco, near the municipality of San Jose of Palmar. The earthquake caused damage in various parts of the country and particularly affected several communities in western Colombia. In Choco, one of the most significant problems was the damage to educational infrastructure. According to reports published after the earthquake, nearly 200 education institutions were affected and around 40 were completely destroyed. These figures illustrate the severity of the problem. When a school is damaged, the consequences extend beyond the building itself. They also affect the students, teachers, and families who depend on that space. An educational institution is where children and young people receive her education, interact with her peers, develop her skills, and prepare for a future. Therefore, after a disaster, rebuilding schools becomes a top priority. The problem is even more significant in a department like Choco, which has historically faced various social and infrastructural changes. A week after the earthquake, Shakira arrived in Quibdó, the capital of Choco, accompanied by Pilar Howard G. Baldwin. Her goal was to personally assess the situation of the affected communities and observe the damage left by the earthquake. During her visit, she went to the Shakira Industrial Technological School, where she met with students and local authorities. She also met with representatives of the region to learn about the needs that had arisen after the disaster. The visit allowed Shakira to directly understand the situation of the students. This is important because behind the statistics are people. There are children who need return to her studies, teachers who need space to work, and families who need regain some semblance of normalcy after an emergency. During her visit, Shakira expressed her concern about how long the students must remain out of the classroom. Her goal as an announcement is to help children return to the school safely as soon as possible. After learning of the situation, several options were announced to support the reconstruction. The initial commitment announcement totaled 125 million, but it's important to explain where that amount comes from. According to the published information, $500,000 come from Shakira and Live Nation, another $500,000 from the FIFA Global Citizen Education Fund, and $250,000 was contributed by CAF, the Development Bank of Latin America and the Caribbean. These records will be managed through the Piedras Descalzos Foundation and will be used to support the consultation and reconstruction of affected educational institutions. In addition, Shakira announced that she will dedicate her efforts to reconstruction of the Technological University of Choco, a key institution for higher education in the department. Furthermore, Howard G. Boston announced that he will collaborate with the Piedras Descalzos Foundation to promote the construction of 10 additional schools in Choco, both in Quito and in rural areas. This means that initiative not only seeks to repair some damage, but also to expand the education infrastructure of value to communities. Now, we can ask ourselves a question. Why is rebuilding a school so important after a disaster? A school is much more than a building. It's a place where students learn, interacting with others, and develop knowledge they can use throughout their lives. After an emergency, returning to school can also help restore a routine. Students can reunite with their classmates, teachers can continue their classes, and families can gradually regain some of the normalcy they had before the disaster. Furthermore, an education institution can become an important hub for an entire community. Therefore, rebuilding a school means discovering a space where opportunities are created. Shakira herself has highlighted precisely this idea. Schools fulfill a function that goes beyond physical structures, especially after an emergency. In other words, rebuilding a school is also a way to help rebuild the student's future. To conclude, consider that this situation leaves us with an important reflection. An earthquake can occur in a matter of seconds, but its consequences can last a long time. Communities need to rebuild their homes, restore their survives, and resume their daily activities. In the case of Choco, one of the most biggest challenges is ensuring that students can return to safe learning environments. Shakira's involvement demonstrates how an internationally recognized figure can use her resources and influence to draw attention to a situation and mobilizing aid. However, it's also important to understand that reconstruction does not depend on a single person. It requires the participation of authorities, organizations, businesses, donors, and above all, the communities themselves. The education is fundamental tool for building opportunities. Therefore, when a school is rebuilt, it's not just about repairing walls, roofs, or classrooms. A place is a very pool where many children and young people can learn, grow, and think about her future. The situation in Choco reminds us that after an emergency, solidarity can make a difference. And it also reminds us that a community shouldn't be forgotten once the news stops talking about it. That's why initiatives like the reconstruction of the schools can be an important step for students to return to her classroom and for communities to begin looking towards the future again. And this has been my podcast about Shakira, the Choco earthquake, and the reconstruction of this educational institution. Thank you for listening and for your attention. See you next time.